Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie, and I'm just making this quick video to say adios, Holly, adios. So, poor Holly Willoughby. So she's been forced to make the decision to quit this morning. She's been forced to because of the credible threat from her kidnapper. So she's made this decision, not because she's so unpopular now and nobody's watching anymore, nothing to do with that. She's made this decision for her family. So let's see, there she is, Holly, the golden girl as was. Do you know, it's funny how karma always catches up with people. You think you can be false and that nobody will notice, and it has taken, quite a little while, hasn't it, with Holly? But I think it was the queue jumping, wasn't it? It was the queue jumping at the Queen's funeral that started it, and of course, not even apologising for it, because she didn't apologise properly for doing it. I think she might have been better off. She just said, "Well, I've got a really busy schedule. I only had 20 minutes or whatever." But I think, everybody liked David Beckham more, didn't they? Because he actually queued up. It's a small thing in a way, but it's a big thing. Because to me, it's always not the doing of something, because we've all done things that are not right. That in hindsight, even at the time, we might have known that really weren't right, but we did them anyway because we wanted to. We've all done that, I think. I'm not above that. So, but I think it's the afterwards pretending that she hadn't that did it. And then, of course, it was the working with a possible group. I mean, whatever you think about Philip Schofield, nothing's been proven. There's no court case. It's all, disappeared. But, you can still have your thoughts. It's in other cases, maybe it's possible that Holly knew some things. She certainly knew a lot, didn't she? Because they were like, supposedly best bosom chums. So she's either left. Well, no, sorry, no. Let's see why she says she's left. She's quitting the TV show this morning after 14 years for me and my family. So she didn't even. She's followed the same way as Philip, because she didn't even say goodbye to everybody. Normally they make capital out of it, don't they? That this is Holly's last. If this morning would have thought on a bit, they could have had Holly Willoughby's last day, and it would have maybe got them a couple of viewers, because they've not got any viewers now, have they? The thing is, times have changed. This morning, things do change. And this morning was a program for its time, but it is not, along with all the scandals, etc. And now, Philip going, Holly doesn't work with the other presenters. It doesn't gel, does it? There's no gel in there. So her and Philip gel together because they basically are cut of the same cloth in my eyes. So it's like knives out in that this morning, isn't it? When you think about the ones that have come and gone over the years, and they've never got anything good to say about it, have they? Even Eamon, he's moved on. All the ones that left there and moved on, they've all got nothing but bad things to say about the atmosphere, the toxic culture in this morning. So it's not only one person saying that, there's lots of people saying that. So it's got to be true, really, hasn't it? Or there's got to be some truth in it. So she'd been absent from the daytime programme since last week, when a man was charged. I mean, the guy has been charged. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that, for soliciting to commit murder over an alleged plot to kidnap the TV presenter, which of course must have been terrifying. I have let ITV know today that after 14 years, I will not be returning to This Morning, she posted on her Instagram on Tuesday. And her statement did not refer directly to last week's alleged plot. I don't think she's probably allowed to talk about it. She said, it's been an honour to be just part of its story. And I know this, I've got to put on the Holly voice. And I know that, are you okay? Are you okay? I know this story has many chapters left to go. Sadly, however, I now feel I have to make this decision for me and my family. Even though I live in a mansion in the middle of London that's currently under 24-hour guard, I don't feel safe. And even though my prospective kidnapper has in fact been arrested, I don't feel safe. I wonder if he's been bailed or is he still in prison? Anyway, the news also comes 5 months after the how coincidental, after the show was engulfed in scandal when her former co-host Philip Schofield left after admitting lying about an affair with a younger colleague. Sorry, do you know, I'm just sort of laughing to myself because this is the BBC website. And it's funny how they revel in each other's misfortune. You know, the BBC sort of talks about this, but they never talk about Hugh Edwards, do they? You know, Hugh Edwards, does anybody remember anything about Hugh Edwards? They hope that memories fade. Hugh Edwards, he's another one who's sort of talking about his mental health. That's what made him solicit all those naked pictures of boys or young men. That's why he did it. It wasn't because he's gay. No. It's because of his mental illnesses. And the same with Philip, you know, he now knows how Caroline Flack feels. Just foul, these people. They just, anything to save their own skins, anything, they will say anything instead of just holding up their hands up and saying, yes, I am gay. I couldn't admit I was gay because that would have been the end of my career at the time. Because, you know, we were watching a programme, I think it was the Beckham thing on, must be, because that's the only thing I've watched together with my son. We were watching the Beckhams on Netflix, and a very, very young Hugh Edwards was presenting one of the news programmes that was talking about David Beckham. It's, you know, because I do feel, you know, they've got to both the BBC and ITV at the moment, certainly, maybe in the future they'll be able to, they cannot play anything that had Philip Schofield involved in it or Hugh Edwards. You know, like Jimmy Savile, they've disappeared into the ether, you know, but so that's very difficult because Hugh Edwards was one of the main, he commentated on the Queen's funeral, you know, announced the death of the Queen, all those things. Same with Philip Schofield, not so much on those more serious programmes, but he was on everything, every advert, you know, Dancing on Ice, he was presenting Mr. and Mrs., he was, you name it, The Cube, he was on everything. And all that footage now they can't really show again because they don't want to admit that they had these people working for them. So, but it's ironic, isn't it, where here's the BBC now pretending that it, you know, it's a sort of, what's the word, an investigative, serious news programme by talking about when ITV was engulfed in scandal and forgetting that, you know, they were actually engulfed in scandal also. Anyway, Willoughby 42 thanked everybody who's worked on the programme, who all say that, God, what's going to come out of the woodwork now? You know, now she's gone. She thanked everyone who worked on the programme, but they all said what a diva she was and how she, you know, when you look back at performances and that, you can just see it. And very uncomfortable since Philip went, because she's having to, she was trying to desperately to save her career and trying to be extra nice, but I think that didn't work, you know, because it just didn't work with other people, did it? I don't know, it just looked wrong, it just didn't work all the time. All the other co-presenters they've tried to put with her and it just hasn't worked. Because unfortunately, or fortunately, unfortunately for her anyway, she was so entwined with Phil, wasn't she? So it's hard when you've got a double act, really, which is what they were. It's like Morecambe and Wise, isn't it? You know, when Eric Morecambe sadly died, it was difficult for Ernie Wise then because they weren't like, you know, they were known together. They bounced off each other. You know, you can't find another partner, or so it's very difficult when you're so entwined with somebody else. And, you know, sort of part of me thinks, why am I even talking about this? Because I didn't even like this morning. But you know what? Because I don't like the hypocrisy of all of it. And I don't like the way a British public has been dumbed down for so many years, you know, with these frivolous programs that just don't really, you know, this morning I started watching Good Morning Britain. That's another one. And I started watching it because I just happened to, I just thought, oh, I haven't watched it for ages. And almost instantly I remembered why I don't watch it, because these programs these days, they do not work. Trying to, so 1 minute we're talking about serious things like Israel, the events in Israel, then they're interviewing Keir Starmer, then they were interviewing Grant Shapps, you know, so it's all about sort of serious things, if you like, that to me are important things. And then the next minute they're talking about, well, would you drink tea made from breast milk? You know, and that, to me, I remember now why I stopped watching it, because these things you cannot, it's just ridiculous. You can't go from one of those things to another thing in the same program. You know, you could have a light sort of section. Lorraine could be that, because she's another one who's just like, you know, but anyway, sometimes people like something light and like a magazine, and and what she wearing and blah blah blah. Okay, fair enough, but it's either got to be that sort of program or it's got to be a serious program. So, you know, I've got a lot of respect for Susanna Reid. I like her. I like the way she interviews people, and she don't let people get away with things generally. But you can't then, in my opinion, just move on to something completely different, because you're actually, whichever way you do it, you're going to lose someone, because there'll be people who like the light, frivolous things. They won't want to see the things about Israel or Keir or anything to do with politics. And so you could just stick the two in one program. It just doesn't work. In my opinion, it's never really worked, but I think it works even less now because of YouTube, social media. People, if they just, people have their things that they like to hear about, and they have their YouTubers that they like, or just like they have their presenters that they like. But they can pick and choose now. They can pick and choose. They can go on this, go on that. You know, just literally, if you're watching this and you're not enjoying what I'm saying, you literally just turn me off and go on to your next YouTuber that you want to watch. That's how quick it is. And I think it's, you know, this morning is dead and buried. I said it right when Phil left, Philip Schofield left, and I said that Holly would not. She distanced herself from him, didn't she, immediately? But I think what actually the title of one of my videos from the time was, Holly distances herself from Philip, but it won't save her. I knew it wouldn't, because times have changed. Times have changed. And I think people are sick of being talked down to as if they're idiots. You know, that has been a general dumbing down of the media, and that any other country in the world will tell you how awful the media is in the UK, you know, and it talks down, it sort of builds people up, then it knocks them down, and it talks down to its readers, its viewers. It treats them like they're fools. You know, that speech she made when she came back in her I always call her schoolmother, I don't know why, school teacher blouse. Are you all right? Oh, I expect like me, you know, you're a little bit angry at being lied to. You're just so condescending, talking to people like they were children. You know, she should have come out and said, I'm so angry, not like, I'm so angry, you know, if it was true that she didn't know, which of course she did know. So angry at what's happened, you know, I feel let down, not like, oh, are you okay? You know, it was just, anyway, I don't know. So I feel like times have moved on, but they're not keeping up with it. So I wish her all the luck in the world if she does something proper, like genuine, you know. if she never worked again, I expect she's, well, I don't know. At the end of the day, you live to your means, so maybe she does need to work. But her husband, of course, is a big ITV sort of boss. I don't know exactly what he is, but so it's a very incestuous world there at ITV. And you've got Martin Frizzell, who to me is a sinister person, very sinister person. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. What do you think? Do you think Holly was right to go, or do you not care? Do you like This Morning? I mean, there must be some people out there who like it. I know they're bleeding viewers. At the end of the day, they're just getting less and less popular, and quickly. It's happened quickly, and they'll be panicking like mad, because of course they exist on advertising revenue, and people aren't going to want to advertise because nobody's watching. Okay, so she thanked everyone who's worked on the programme, writing, "Oh, this is such a difficult goodbye. I can hardly help doing the Holly voice. You are incredible, and I forever will be proud of what we've done together. Thank you to everyone at ITV for being supportive, to every guest who has sat on our sofa. Thank you." Yeah, there's probably a few she wouldn't like to thank, because she was quite nasty to some of them. Of course, the other reason why they're getting ITV 24-hour protection will be because her husband is very high up in ITV, as well as the police protection. Most of all, thank you to the wonderful viewers. You've been so loyal, so supportive, and the very best company every day. ITV's Managing Director of Media and Entertainment, Kevin Ligo, said, "We are sad that Holly is leaving This Morning, but respect her decision, which we know will have been extremely difficult for her to make. Holly is one of the best loved, respected and most accomplished broadcasters in the UK. She's been at the heart of This Morning for the past 14 years, and she is adored by our viewers. I'm sure some people adore her, but not as many as adored her before. Holly has brought her unique brand of warmth, energy, humour and fun to one of the country's most popular daytime shows, and everyone on the programme will miss her enormously. She remains a much loved member of the ITV family, and we look forward to working with her in the future." Yeah, I mean, she'll be back on the TV. I mean, she looks nice, doesn't she? She's attractive. She can talk to, oh God, there she is with, I'm not even going to comment on that, King Charles and Camilla. So This Morning co-host Alison Hammond replied to Willoughby on Instagram, "This is a very sad day. Love you." Dermot O'Leary. I always think Dermot, he always says sort of the right thing, but he doesn't, like he said, "Nothing but love and respect for you and yours, kiss." Maybe that's just because men are less gushy in general, but oh God, Vanessa Feltz, regular contributor. "We will miss you so very much, my darling," as they all queue up for a job. Anyway, so she's got 3 children. At the end of the day, that kidnapping plot, when we find out all the full details of it and how viable actually it was. I mean, was it a fantasist type thing, or was it, a genuine, we don't know until the court case comes up. But Gavin Plum of Pottersfield, Harlow, Essex, appeared in court on Friday, accused of soliciting, encouraging, persuading, endeavouring to persuade or proposing to a third party to murder Willoughby last week. I mean, it does sound nasty, doesn't it? What's wrong with you, Gavin? What was all that about? So he's been remanded in custody. Yeah, so he's in custody to appear for a plea hearing at Chelmsford Crown Court on the 3rd of November. Now, said she's under police. Well, I don't know if you saw Keir Starmer's speech at the Labour Party conference, but he's supposed to be under 24-hour guard. It didn't stop someone getting on the stage and luckily only chucking glitter over him. But, politicians do get murdered. You know, there's been two politicians murdered not that long ago, isn't there? It was Joe Cox and, oh gosh, what's his name? The other guy stabbed in his, you know, so Keir, I mean, he put a brave face on it and he carried on with his speech, but he must have been shocked that that guy got close. If that guy would have had a knife, he could have stabbed him. He actually had his arm around him, he touched him. So if he would have wanted, how did that happen? You know, so gosh. Anyway, so yeah, she started off presenting children's programs, and then really it was this duo, wasn't it? So when she got paired with Schofield to host Dancing on Ice in 2006, then on to This Morning, I think before Holly, was it Fern Britain before Holly? Yeah, and she seemed to disappear all of a sudden. You know, it's a very brutal world, isn't it? It's like, you know, just, oh no, we found someone younger, prettier, and we're going to use, well, as far as the women are concerned, the men seem to be able to go on until they're old and grey, but the women don't ever go on until they're old and grey, ever, do they? You never get a programme like Dancing on Ice, what's the other one? Strictly Come Dancing on the BBC, This Morning, Good Morning Britain. You never get, you know, you wouldn't get a woman on there with grey hair. You know, it's always a glamorous woman with some old guy. So it needs to change, basically. It definitely needs to change. And, you know, because young people aren't watching these programs. So as the older generation sort of gets older and, you know, unfortunately sort of passes on, there's not a young generation coming up watching these programs, is there? So not so much anyway. I mean, daytime TV will always be watched because some people are at home, and especially now, I suppose, when people work at home, etc. I suppose, you know, you could be working and have the TV on in the background, I suppose. But yeah, I think the thing is, people I have YouTube on in the background, or Netflix, or something like that. So yeah. So they faced criticism after they were accused of jumping a queue to view the coffin of the late Queen Elizabeth, and then Schofield's affair put the show in crisis in May. And she said it was very hurtful to do. I mean, this is the other thing. She thought everyone was stupid and believed that, because she said she thought it was very hurtful to discover her co-host had lied to her about his relationship with a younger male ITV employee, and we all knew that she knew about the relationship. So it's the lies that make it worse, isn't it? Yeah, so that led to Schofield's departure and wider accusations of a toxic workplace. And then when she returned after the furore, she addressed viewers directly, asking them, "Are you okay?" I hope so. I can't help but put that voice on, sorry. So since then, we've got Josie Gibson, Craig Doyle, Dermot O'Leary, Alison Hammond. So they're going to be looking for a new Philip Schofield, a new Holly Willoughby, not only for This Morning, but for Dancing on Ice. I mean, do you think it's coming to the end of all these sort of programmes, even Dancing on Ice and even Britain's Got Talent? That's like, you know, immersed in controversy, isn't it, now, with David Walliams and Simon Cowell, etc. I think it's not only This Morning that's at a crossroads, because they're saying it's all mainstream TV that is fighting for its life, I think. I just wonder, you know, yeah, they need to do something new. They need to do something new that people will want to watch. And, you know, for me, it would be something more serious, like a debate, you know, debating things, a bit like the Jeremy Vine show or whatever. Something like that, or something completely frivolous. I don't think you can do this combination of 1 minute you're looking what dresses somebody's wearing and shoes and handbags, and then the next minute you're trying to talk seriously about a situation in Israel. I don't think that works. Yeah, and I think actually probably the rot set in for this morning when Piers Morgan went, because love him or hate him, people would tune in. I would tune in to watch to see what he had to say, because you knew it would be controversial. So yeah, since he went from Good Morning Britain, that's been difficult, hasn't it? We've got Richard Madeley. Richard Madeley this morning. So they interviewed him on Good Morning Britain, because of course he started this morning with his wife Judy Finnegan. And he said, oh, what, because he always says that, doesn't he? It's like, I was talking to Judy last night and we were saying, how they've stuck together, I don't know. But anyway, he said, what did he said, we were just saying last night, Judy and I, what we always say to each other, or what I always say is, it's only telly. It's only telly. Now, I actually found that really offensive, what he said, because to him it's only telly, because it's his career. He's earning, good money out of it. He's got an enjoyable career. But to lots of people who watch daytime TV, it's not only telly. They feel like they're invested in those presenters. They feel like they're friends. A lot of people that watch those sort of programs, they can't get out of the house, maybe. They're all elderly, they live alone, they've got no company, they've lost their husband, their children are grown up or whatever, and they're not working anymore, and so they watch these programs and they get attached to the presenters. So it's not just telly to them, it is part of their life, and they deserve to be spoken to with respect, and they deserve not to be lied to, and they are your lifeblood, they are your bread and butter. So it's not just telly, Richard Madeley. Might be to you, but not to your viewers. Your viewers take it seriously, and you need them to take it seriously for them to come back over and over again. So as soon as you start disrespecting your viewers, same on YouTube, same on anything, as soon as you start lying to people, talking down to them, gaslighting them, trying to fleece them, trying to, in whatever way, shape or form. I think when I stopped watching Good Morning Britain, because I did used to like watching it with Piers Morgan, but it was after he took Captain Tom off on holiday, and he caught COVID and died. And also, thing is, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And when you start saying things that you're doing this or you're doing that, and then people realise you're actually not doing that, you're lying about things, or like jumping the queue to see the Queen or whatever. People don't forget those things, so then they can't look at you in the same way, and your whole success depends on your relationship with the public, with your viewers. So it's not just telly, because telly is important to a lot of people, especially a certain generation of people. Now, I don't think that's true for young people. I think young people hardly watch the TV. But there's still a big generation. That's the generation you're depending on. And now you're not even respecting them. So you've got no chance. Honest to God, I think it's like, you get the violins out because the ship is sinking for all these rubbish programs and good. And we need to think of a different way. Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go after that? And of course, I'm always available to fill all these. But you see, I'm too old straight away, so that's not going to happen. But also I'm too bolshy, I think, and speak my mind too much. But yeah, it's interesting when you listen to what Katie Hopkins says, or not only Katie Hopkins, but what's her name, Poulsen, Sophia Poulsen, is it? You know, people who've been on the mainstream and then they've just felt uncomfortable with it and sort of kicked against it a bit and been turfed off immediately, you know, or like, well, Eamon, he was let go of, but, you know, he'd love to go back, I'm sure. So, you know, it's, I do think it's just something needs to replace it. I don't know what, I need to think about that. They'll probably be doing programs on prepping. Oh, you know, maybe they should try a bit of prepping on there. I'm sure that'd be more popular than the usual rubbish that they. And I think a good thing is, gosh, I'm rambling on a bit. Oh, this was supposed to be a short video. A good thing is, I think we're coming to the end of this celebrity culture that gripped us for so long. I hate celebrity culture, you know, where people are, just because they're on the telly or they're sort of respected more than someone that isn't, you know. And they, I know there's probably loads of you out there who do like Love Island and Big Brother and stuff like that. But, well, I suppose Big Brother is not, but to me, no, I never, those programs, let's have some proper programs back. Let's have some proper programs back instead of relying on these reality shows, etc., that are just really a cheap way of making television by using the public and normally lead to real problems in mental health, like programs like Love Island, etc. And this body image, you know, that it's like, what's that saying to people, that you've got to look like that with the perfect body, perfect face, etc. You know, everything perfect. That is your value in life. You know, that's what you're defined by. You're not defined by that. So we need something different. We need something different. So it says the show is relatively cheap to make. This is BBC. I think there's a little bit of bitchiness here from BBC. And the core format, recipes, agony aunts and celebrity interviews, is something that isn't dependent on the consistency of the personalities presenting it. It's worth noting that ITV never replaced Piers Morgan after his exit from Good Morning Britain in 2021, and the programme has survived perfectly well. It's never got back to the viewing figures that it had when Piers was on there. It has survived, yes, but they were really getting high viewing figures. Anyway, it survived perfectly well for 2.5 years with a rotating roster of guest presenters, because ultimately it's the format of news and entertainment that people tune in for. I personally, that's why I don't tune in for it, but you tell me, maybe that's why you do. Maybe you like the combination of the news and then a bit of a lighter section. I personally don't like it, but so if ITV were thinking of doing something different from This Morning, this would be an opportune moment to do it. It has been on air since 1988, so that's a long time, isn't it? So it needs something. So ITV could be tempted to shake up the brand, launch a new programme with a new title, new studio, new branding, new presenters, but with a similar format. So that's just same shit, different day. No, I don't think that's a good thing. I'm just looking at this. Holly says she's shaken on her return to, this was when she returned and made that ridiculous, you know, to me it was ridiculous, that speech that she made when she returned. What? I don't think it's on there anymore. No, sorry. Oh, or is it here? No, it's not the video, I don't think. Look at her face. I mean, is it just me, but she just looks so false? And there's him being false. But he knows just how Carolyn Flack felt. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. That's what I just wanted to talk about. I hope I haven't upset anyone. There's probably people, those of you out there think Holly is fantastic, and I do feel for her. It's not nice to have had a threat like that, even if it's not a credible threat. But it still won't have been very nice. But, I agree with Katie Hopkins when she was saying, because she did actually make another video, didn't she, about it? Let's have a little look at that. I agree with her in that, because there's women out there that are, suffering credible threats, that are out there on their own, with children, being stalked, and people don't want to know. Well, I say people don't want to know, the police don't want to know. Let's have a little look at this. This was sort of funny and sad at the same time, and it's true.
He's 450 stone. I can't fit out the front door of his house.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Ooh, why am I running? Yeah, I've got a stalker. Yeah, it's a credible threat, I know. He's 450 stone. I can't fit out the front door of his house, but it's a credible threat. Last time he was a credible threat to anything was Dunkin' Donuts or Family Buckets at KFC, but it's definitely a credible threat. And it's strange because when I was the golden girl of TV, I never had any of these credible threats. Not when I had my boobs out and my Marks Spencer's contract, but now I'm deeply unpopular because I pushed in at the Queen's funeral and uncovered up for a pedo perv. I've got all of these credible threats. It's very distressing. I might have to not turn up for my TV show. Even my mate, Gordon the groomer, has come out of the broom cupboard in support. So, yeah, I'm just gonna keep on running. I mean, even the guy in court that did the sketches, he's helping. He covered up the guy's quadruple chins. Yeah, okay. Well, it's dedicated to all the women who have legitimate stalkers, who live in genuine fear, often on their own, trying to protect their kids, who cry for help, and the police never come. And they never come until it's too late. And then those police forces say that there were lessons to be learned.
Yeah, it makes me cry at the end there, because it's true. It's true. So, yeah, the police never come. Then the worst happens, and the police say there are lessons to be learned. Okay, that's me for this morning. I'm sure I'll see you at some point later on, maybe today or tomorrow, definitely. And remember to live and love wisely. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.